Reminds me of Theranos, right? It was a bunch of BS, bullshit made up, right? She's a master marketer, but you're talking about blood tests that people were using for very serious conditions, including cancer, and they were lied to, and a lot of people died. As I listened to the documentary,
it's mind-boggling to me because to get the kind of specificity that you really need to do the in-depth type stuff she was talking about, you have to be using next-generation sequencing. And she was trying to make it seem like everything she was doing was a mystery and it was all proprietary, yet she was doing standard blood tests at the end of the day.
It's remarkable that she was able to do what she did, knowing what I know about investors, knowing what I know about the process. And the only thing I could think of, she went after old men that were very wealthy, I think it was Secretary of State under Ronald Reagan, Schultz, for example, Weinberger, for example. These are people with a lot of money, a lot of connections that have no clue about medical device, about quality systems, about any of that stuff. And yet it still is amazing to me that she was able to pull the wool over so many people's eyes, and something to me it was so obviously, it was never going to work. I worked with a company called Sendex down in San Diego, and we were doing point-of-care blood testing or blood gas analyzing bedside, right?
Yep.
And it was very difficult to get that thing to work consistently, but I know there were so many regulations and so many things that had to happen. But the idea of a finger prick of blood, and that was it? I mean, people are smoking a dope believing that stuff.
Yeah.
But yet they did, and she raised, I don't know, was it close to $1 billion?
Yeah,
that's insane.
900 million.
That's bananas. I mean, good for her, but I mean, she's toast, but I mean, not good for her because it hurt a lot of people, but it's just crazy.
When you brought up investors before, we look at the level of scrutiny we go through, and something like that hurts the whole market because you could go to any strong scientist who would have refuted it. And when you look at, you read the book Bad Blood, or you look at the documentary, and you'll see that their Stanford scientists basically poo-pooed it and said,
she avoided all the venture capitalists in medical device or testing or genomics or people that are in the know. She avoided them like the plague because they would have just shot it down.
Yeah, it's amazing. So, but it's, you just don't know how something like that happens. But it does kind of, when you look at genomics, you're like, you're making that kind of promise without mentioning genomics. It's impossible.